Paul Botterill, and I'm the founder of Actions to Wealth and Online Trading Profits.
Hi guys, I'm Simon, crypto trader, crypto investor. Welcome.
Hi guys, I'm Ash Bull. I am a professional investor and professional trader. Welcome to the show.
Cheers, guys. Can you be prepared to cover for me? My internet is definitely an issue here. Hi, guys. If you want to, we have had no winner from last week, so we're going to have a look. If you want to jump on and be the person who trades with us this week, you've got to come to the Learn to Trade Online Facebook page. James will post the link for that into the chat for the different social media. Got to find this pinned post, which says submit your name here for October 23 trading competition. You've got to be one of the many people who have submitted their name. Got a fair few in this week, people looking to trade. And a little bit later on the show, we're going to pick one of those out by wheel of names. And that person will have the choice to do one of three things. They can pick a trade and trade against us. They can steal one of our trades and trade that trade. Or if they don't come into the show, we can't find them, then we will place a trade for them. If their trade wins, then this week they will win $1,500. So the prize is going to jackpot this week to 1,500 Sing dollars for the winner. 1,500 Sing dollars. I will put it in there. Beautiful. So we can all see it. We'll come back to this in a few minutes, but before we do, let's have a look at last week's trades. And look, another magnificent week for the team. Another magnificent week for the team. Am I still live, guys?
You are still live. Fine.
Another magnificent week for. Great, another magnificent week for the team. I am just going to change accounts. So, guys, if you want to get into, win that money, all you need to do is put your name on that Facebook page. You'll have three options when you come in to do that. And one is to place a trade of your choice. One is to steal one of our trades, and the other one is we will assign a trade for you. Now, these are last week's trades. I think that is Simon on Pound New Zealand up $300. That is John, our guest, at $241 up. I'm up $147 on the New Zealand dollar short for us. Account's getting a little bit bigger than it was, so that's probably about 3.5%, I think, on that one. And Ash also in profit, as all of us make profit for the week. Now I'm going to ask James to come in and to close those trades. And as we close those trades, we're going to go to Ash and have a look at his trade for this week.
So my trade,
Ash, just want to suggest. Sorry, Ash, we're exactly 4 weeks into the show, or 5 weeks into the show. We started on the 18th of October. Balance is 4662. So a $2,000 start. So we've made $2,600, or about, is it 23%? So 123%. 123% in five weeks. So that's been a really good start to the show. We'll go through some of those trades in a future episode, but up 123% in the first 5 weeks of the show. Now let's see if the guys can do it again. Ash, to you first.
Thanks very much, mate. Yeah, I think it's been a fantastic job. And you know, you guys that are part of the show and trading with us in a way and against us, you've done a fantastic job as well, because you've been part of us raising the account. So the account's doing really well. This week, let's try and do the same thing again. I am going for the dollar versus the Swissy, and I like it. Now, what I've got down here is one of my favorite patterns. And one of my favorite patterns is an inverted head and shoulders. Now, the inverted head and shoulders needs a left shoulder, it needs a head, and it needs a right shoulder. So we've got the inverted head and shoulders in play. I love picking it up down at the actual shoulder line. Common trading technique is to pick it up when it breaks the neckline, but I like getting in down right on the bottom on the shoulder, see if I can trade it up to the neckline, and then maybe even take it through. If I look at this on this weekly chart, not only do I have this inverted head and shoulders, but this is an obvious place of support that when we go back, we can see that there's a few times that this has bounced along this level here and kind of almost touched it there. We could probably even tighten that line up. So we're right back to where we started, looking like a false break, looking like this could start to charge to the upside. If we change this to a slightly shorter time frame here, whip ourselves forward, what we also have is a break of this trend line down here. So this looks to me like a decent enough place to try and get into this. If it doesn't go here, I do believe it's going to go soon. Fed, 1st of November. Watch out for that. I think the dollar's oversold. Dollar Swissy long is the trade for me this week.
Fantastic, Ash. Dollar Swiss long. James is putting that trade on in the background right now. Simon, what's your trade of the week?
Guys, I am short gold this week. Gold loves levels. Where have we heard that before? We've heard it from a female colleague in Sydney who always says gold loves levels. Well, look at that. She's absolutely bang on. We've got this trend line going back a year. We've bounced off it all the way up to where we are now. We've got this horizontal level goes back over a year. Bounce, bounce, resistance, resistance, resistance. We're back here again. If I put a fib on the top, drag it down to the bottom, I'm in the golden pocket, the what I call the golden pocket, which is the 618 and the 786. I've got both my RSI stochastics and my RSI overbought. I have to be gold short. So that's my trade of the week, gold short.
Fantastic. We are gold short with Simon. Well done, mate. That is great to see. Now let's go back into our Facebook group, and what we're going to do now is we're going to just refresh this. See if anyone else has jumped into this, and if they haven't, we are going to. By the way, we're going to go to Sam. So Gary's the last one. Sam, can we come to you for the wheel of names to see who's going to be the person who gets the opportunity to trade against us today? Lots of names in this week. Really cool.
Do not steal my trade.
Okay, Sam.
Do you know what? I would have stole your trade if I had the chance. So let's see what they do. Benedict Wu.
Let's see what Benedict Woon does. Benedict Woon still some support for that coming into the chat. So we've got Benedict Woon as a winner. While I take my trade, we're going to give him a chance to jump into this webinar. Can you unshare, please, Sam? And while I take my trade, and after that, we'll see if Benedict is in. There are 3 options for Benedict. He can come in. He can steal any one of our trades. Not a bad idea. He can take his own trade. Benedict Woon knows how to trade, so he may well take his own trade. Or if he doesn't turn up, we're going to assign him a trade, and it won't be one of ours if we assign him a trade. So we'll see what happens. Benedict should be joining us reasonably soon. Great to see so many people in the room for this one. My trade today, I'm going to take XBR long. Look, I just think that this possibility is we do have a double top here. We do have a pullback down, but it has had a similar level down in this area here. I'm suggesting that gold might go back up and put in maybe the same or possibly new highs by Monday next week. Not a lot extra to me. I don't love doing against seasonal moves, and it is slightly against seasonal moves, but I'm still okay that I think oil long is a good trade for me. We're going to go XBR USD for my trade for this week. We will have James add that on already. That gold trade's losing already, Simon. Look at that. It's down $5. What are you talking about, mate? Rightio. We are looking to stop the share. We're going to come back and see if Benedict is in the room with us. Tim will be putting him in to chat with us if he is. Benedict Woon, are you in the room?
It's got a nice swing to that.
Really does. Look, if we don't hear from Benedict, we're going to give him a little bit more. Benedict is not in the room. We're going to give him a few more minutes. If someone can reach out and message him on Facebook and encourage him to come in, that would be great. We will come in and we'll give him towards the end of the show to put his trade on. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of our new specialties. We're going to do Ash's chat pattern of the week, which we did last week, which was brilliant. And then we're going to do Simon's crypto chat, crypto snippets. And after that, we'll do our sports bets for this week as well. Over to you, Ash.
Great stuff. So we're going to talk about the rectangle this week. So we can see here, back to the dollar Swiss, just a useful chart today for my illustration. We have got this high up here, this high up here, and this high up here. And what we're going to do is just get our equidistant tool and just drag it along. Now, what we can see is that it becomes a bit of a rectangle. I'm just going to just take the ray off that just so it's a bit easier. There we go. Becomes a rectangle. So if we bring this down to the lows here, now what we're looking for with a rectangle is for it to have returned at least twice. So we can see that here's a level here, here's a level here. So one high, one low. Then we get that equal high, and then we get the equal low. Then we have the start of a rectangle. And we can see little false move down here, but it comes back and retests that particular area. Same thing up here. Then what we look for is if this breaks through, so we get a breakout this level, and after it's broken out, we can even move it down there if we want to just a little bit more confidence. I like to see the absolute extremes. If we want to see this with a little bit more confidence, we get this little breakdown here, top of the box at that point here, at that point there. Then we get this breakdown, and what we're looking for is price to retest that area, and we will measure the distance of the assumed move to the downside by measuring the box. So we can take a big long line here. We can take that line and we're going to stick it at the bottom where it broke through. And then we can start to just move this chart down and see where it suggests it's coming to. So it actually, that's because of Zoom. 1 second. Let me do it on MT4 instead. Let's do it on here. There we go. So that's the suggested move just down there. Now the question is, have we got there? Yeah, look at that. So we now see that this particular area became a really interesting zone for the price to bounce again. So this suggests that the downside is now played out, and it now suggests that we should maybe be looking for upside. So we just would look for another potential rectangle, and if the rectangle breaks, same thing. Draw the measured move and see how far it goes and see if it actually completes the measured move of the rectangle. So this week, mate, it is the rectangle.
Very cool, Ash. Thank you very much for the rectangle and the measured move. Nice to hear the stuff coming in. Simon, let's get around the crypto stuff. Crypto topics, please.
Let's make a bold statement. So Bitcoin is the US dollar of the cryptoverse. A bold statement, I'm sure, but hang on a sec. That doesn't make sense, right? The dollar's on the tear, as we can see in this chart. Bitcoin has been impersonating a crab for most of the year, as we can see here. But if we think about the flight to safety in legacy markets, when money runs away from risk in markets like the S&P, seen here, where does it go? Well, it runs to the dollar. It's seen here again, and likely ends up in bonds and sort of like other low risk yield creators. So the risk curve works in the same way in the cryptoverse. It's no different. The lower end of the risk curve, the risky end escapes to the top end of the risk curve, the less risky end, if you want. In other words, altcoins, real crypto risk, bleed into Bitcoin, as we can clearly see here on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Just like legacy risk bleeds to dollars, altcoins bleed into Bitcoin. Aussie US dollar, the Aussie US dollar chart since the Bitcoin top, November 2021. What do we see here? Aussie risk running to the dollar, risk on to risk off for the last 2 years. Now look at Solana Bitcoin since the Bitcoin top, the Aussie dollar being Solana and Bitcoin being the USD. In both cases, we can see the low risk end of the curve run for safety to the top, less risky end of the curve. As crypto traders who want to make more Bitcoin and not more USD, how do we profit from that without trading futures? How do we make more Bitcoin without having to access high risk derivative FTX type exchanges? I will spend 90 seconds next week to give you an idea how we do that without taking crazy risk and without getting chopped up in a sideways Bitcoin crab. It's 90 seconds you do not want to miss. The real alpha, as always, is in my $1 million Trader Club Telegram channel. You can email contact@actions2wealth if you would like to join me for the next crypto bull run. Back to you guys.
Beautiful, mate. Beautiful.
Cheers, Simon. Look,
yeah.
Sorry, Ash, over to you.
I was going to say that's interesting stuff. I don't know if you wanted to go somewhere else. I know we're going to get to the trade. So are we doing that first, or are we moving on to the sports bet, which is killing me, guys? Absolutely killing me.
Let's do the trade. We can do the sports bets and wind her up. I think for the first time too, not a great week for our sports bets, but we'll have a look. Let me jump back out to the chart. We're going to take. We're going to take CAD Sing Long, and we're going to assign that to Benedict. So Benedict's going to get the CAD Sing Long. Very cool to write your name in there and say you want to be in there. But if you want a good trade, you got to get into the show so we can get you on camera and you can tell us what that trade is. You could have just turned up and stolen that gold short, and boy, oh boy,
I would have had that. I would have had that.
He could have had that.
I wanted that gold short.
Would have taken him 5 minutes to turn up. Oh, yeah, and I'll take gold. I'll take gold short. We'd have to go. That's $1,500, Benedict. Congratulations in a week. It's not a bad deal for him. Over to you on the sports bet. Before we go to the sports bet, remember to join us every Monday night. Every week the prize isn't hit. It'll be jackpot. So it's $1,500 this week. If Benedict's CAD Sing doesn't win it next week, it'll be $1,750. Make sure to join us every Monday. We'll have a new post put up tomorrow for you to put your name into each week. So if you're available, put your name on there, and we'll have a chance for you to win the $1,750 next week if you are around. If it's not hit this week, I can see Simon's Crypto Club link is in there as well for those that want it. Ash, over to you.
Great stuff. Okay, so sports bet of the week for me is for Newcastle to beat Borussia Dortmund. Now, the best price I could find was 10 to 13. So for every $1.30 or £1.30 you put on, you get £1 profit back. So you get $2.30 back. But obviously, $1.30 of that is the actual bet in the first place. So Newcastle been on a decent run recently. They're at home, St James's Park. Wouldn't want to play against Newcastle when they're on a decent run at St James's Park. And I think the odds are pretty good. So I'm looking for Newcastle to continue their form. Newcastle to beat Borussia Dortmund is my bet this week. What you got, Si?
How'd you get on last week, mate? Come on.
Well, we were against each other last week, weren't we? And I wasn't happy because obviously Brighton did lose. Oh, you had a double, right?
I'm going to talk about last week because for me, that's a 6 from 7 winner. So my £100 double, Liverpool, Man City, my £100 stake returned 86, so 0.86. So it's another win for me on the bets. This week, I've got a treble. I've got a Champions League treble. I've got Inter Milan, Manchester City, Inter Milan are playing Salzburg, City are away at Young Boys, Liverpool are at home to Toulouse. It's a treble. I've got a £100 stake and it will pay 0.8 if it comes in.
Ooh.
Gentlemen. How many weeks in a row, Simon?
I'm 6 from 7.
You're 6 from 7. Look, I had a loss last week. I picked Hawke's Bay to win the NPC final in New Zealand, and they lost to Taranaki. I think they brought a run of 4 or 5 weeks in a row. 20 in for me as well, Simon. This week I'm going to take South Africa to beat the All Blacks in the Rugby World Cup final, and I'm going to take them to do it by 1 to 12. 1 to 12 on South Africa versus the All Blacks.
How does it feel saying that?
Mate, you support with your heart and you bet with your brain. No problem for mine at all. No, that's like trading, mate. Sometimes I thought the New Zealand dollar, I want it to go up. Sometimes I go long, I want to go down. It's just the same thing, right, mate? I thought, as you know, I tipped out South Africa to beat us in the preseason, in the pre-event, and they smashed us. And I just think they're too big. And what they did to your scrum, they're going to do to our scrum. And we've got that Englishman refereeing. I think we've very little chance. I'd love to be wrong. One of the good things about sometimes when you bet against your own nation, it does mean you win either way, right? You win the money or you win the game. Either one's pretty good. Now, that is 19 minutes. We've got our 3 bets on. We've got Benedict's bets on. We've got our 3 sports bets in. We've looked at chart patterns. We've had a look at crypto. We'll be back next week to do it all again in the meantime. And so in the meantime, look after your capital, trade carefully, and look after your money. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you back next week, same time. Thanks, everyone.